So as you can see on this chart, price has taken out the inducement and broke past this swing point, confirming a valid break of structure. So this says that we are currently in a new trading range, ranging from this low obviously and currently ending at this high. So we all know, once you have identified your trading range, the next thing is obviously marking your inducement. And right now I can clearly see that this one here is the recently formed valid pullback low, and obviously the liquidity resting below that is where, or is that what we call the inducement. So that's the inducement, and right now I'll be running price to, because we said that we can't, or we should not try ourselves marking the order flows if the inducement is yet taken. All right. If you remember on my previous part, I said that, or if you remember on the previous part, I said that an order block is a refinement of an order flow. So this means that the order block will be located inside the order flow. So right here, I am marking the order flow because we said we'll first start with the order flow. Like the principles still maintain, order flow is primary and the order block is secondary. So right now, I can see the extreme order block is mitigated as well as the next. So in this case, all the order flows are all mitigated. I mean, all the order flows are invalid. So in this case, then we can now shift to the order blocks. So how can I identify an order block? All right, I have said that an order block is a refinement of an order flow. So to identify an order block, you will need to start one order flow after another and mark that order block that is refined in that order flow, and you will start from the extreme of that order flow. All right, so let me change the color of this rectangle like this, and yeah, so here you can see this one here. And by the way, the order block needs to be one candle, and that candle needs to be associated with a fair value gap. So we'll be checking a candlestick associated with a fair value gap, and it should be on the extreme of that order flow. All right, so this one here is the first candle, and I'm starting from the extreme of that order flow, and I'm starting on the order flow that is on the extreme. So on the order flow that is on the extreme, which is mitigated, yes, but we said that it can have its order block unmitigated. And you can clearly see this one here. We said the order block is one candle, and this candle should be associated with a fair value gap. And by the way, this fair value gap can be mitigated or unmitigated as long as the fair value gap is not fully mitigated. All right, so in this case, the fair value gap is well, like, it's whole, it's not mitigated, so very perfect order block right there. And so coming up to the next order flow right here, I can see another candlestick on the extreme of this order flow, which is also associated with a fair value gap right here. You can see the fair value gap starts there and ends right here. This here is the fair value gap, and this fair value gap is mitigated. However, it's not fully mitigated. And if you see that the fair value gap is not fully mitigated, then this order block is still valid. It doesn't matter the length of this order flow. Sorry, the size of the fair value gap. If it's narrow, if it's wide, it doesn't matter. This order block still counts. And also the color of this order block does not matter also. All right, so in this case we have two order blocks. The order flows are, we said that this order flow that is before the inducement, we usually ignore that. And by the way, another point to note, after the inducement is taken out, this one here is a confirmed swing point. I know each and every one of us currently knows this. So this means then if price reverses and breaks past this, that's a valid break of structure. So in this case, now which is the valid between these two, which one here is the valid order block and which one here is the invalid order block? All of these two are like correct order blocks. They are well mapped. The every criteria for marking it as an order block are all met. But now, which one will you be using to make the reversal from, or to take the trade from? All right, so in this case, like on the previous part, I said that there can only be a maximum of two valid POIs. Remember that there can only be a maximum of 2 valid POIs, and I said a POI can either be an order block or it can be an order flow. Even though I said the order flow is primary and the order block is secondary, and I say that we cannot use the order flow if the order block is, I mean, we cannot use the order block if the order flow is valid or is unmitigated. And so here, all the order flows are unmitigated and invalid. So in this case, then we are only left with the order blocks, but the same principles apply. Like the first order block or the first POI that will be valid is the one on the extreme. This, like without even thinking, the one on the extreme which is unmitigated, that's the first one that is valid and highest probability. And the second one is the one that comes right after the inducement, which is this one here. Luckily on this trading range there is only these two POIs, I mean these two order blocks, and so all of them are valid. So luckily in this trading range, but let's say there was some other order blocks in between here. These all order blocks in between here, there will be smart money traps, and only these two, the one that comes right after the inducement is taken out, which is called the decisional order block, which is this one here, and the one that is coming on the extreme, which is not coming but actually on the extreme, which is called the extreme order block. So right now let me run price, and exactly right here, price has given some reaction from the extreme order block. Now, I mean the decisional order block. And in this case, then you can take the trade. And by the way, the decisional order block is 50-50. This means that it can work out and sometimes it can fail. So when you take a trade from the decisional order block and it fails, just know that the decisional order block is 50-50, meaning price may respect it sometime and price may fail it. All right, then after that, this one here is the highest probability. So if price fails the decisional order block, we will now be left with the extreme order block to take the trade from. All right, so right here, price failed the decisional order block, exactly right here, and price mitigated the extreme here. And now once price mitigates the extreme, so right here, price has mitigated the extreme. Now this is another reversal, and I will now be anticipating a move all the way to the external liquidity, because the extreme order block is the one that is the highest probability, and of course it is the last POI to take a trade from on that trading range. If price fails that, it will now be planning to change bias from being bearish to bullish. Right, so right here, price has made that external liquidity, and we are currently in a new trading range. So this one here is our trading range low, and right now let me continue running price, and exactly right here. All right, so and exactly right here we can see this one here is the inducement. We said once we have identified, or once we are currently in a new trading range, first identify the inducement and make sure that price has taken out the inducement before you mark the order flows. All right, and exactly right here you can see price has taken out the inducement here. Price has taken out the inducement. The reason as to why I have marked this one here as the inducement is because this one here is not a valid pullback. And by the way, once you see such a, like once price has taken out the inducement, this one here is a swing point. Yeah, so let's now start marking the order flows. I say that we start marking the order flow first and make sure that all the order flows are unmitigated or invalid before we consider marking the order blocks. So obviously the order flows are started, like we start marking the order flows from the extreme, and right now you can see the one on the extreme is mitigated. Diving onto the next order flow right here, we can see this is not mitigated, and another one here, it's not also mitigated. The one that comes before the inducement, we usually automatically ignore that because we say that's a smart money trap. So right now we don't have like in this case now we will not be using the order blocks, we will just be sticking with the order flows, because the order flows are primary and the order blocks are secondary. But let's say I wanted to use like the order blocks, so, and not that I wanted to use the order block, but let's say now I wanted just to mark the order blocks just for fun on the range, then just start from the extreme of each order flow and find that one candle that is associated with a fair value gap, and right here, and by the way the color of the candle does not matter, so just find that candle on the extreme of the order flow and it's like associated with a fair value gap. And by the way, the fair value gap, like the length of the fair value gap does not matter. Is it narrow, is it wide? It does not matter. You can see this one here, the length is very, like the size of the fair value gap is narrow, but the like the this order block still counts. And again another one here, so you can see this one here, it's also associated with a fair value gap here, so fair value gap exactly right there. And so we have the extreme order block and the decisional order block, as well as this here is the decisional order flow and the extreme order flow. So right now the decisional order flow has failed, so we'll be looking forward for reversal from the extreme order flow. All right, so let me run price. And by the way, if you're wondering why I have not marked this one here, like I've not considered marking the order block from this one, it's because if I mark this order block, all right, if I pick this red candle right here, you can see this red candle is not associated with a fair value gap. So let me zoom. You can see this red candle is not associated with a fair value gap. So I will need to find one that is associated with a fair value gap. The color of the candle does not matter. So right here I can see this small indecision candle inside this order flow, and you can see it's associated with a fair value gap. Like right here you can see it's associated with a fair value gap. And so, and by the way, it's also mitigated, so that's the reason as to why I just automatically ignored that. We say that if it's mitigated it's invalid, and so we just shift the next, and that's the reason as to why I shifted to this next order flow. All right, so back into our trading range. Right now here you can see price failed the decision order flow, and right now I'll be looking forward for a reversal from the extreme order flow. All right, and exactly right here price has mitigated the decision order flow, and all right, making that reversal. But then later price fails that. Yeah, it actually happens, and most of the time when price fails the extreme order flow, usually makes that change of character, or usually changes bias from whatever, like if it was bullish to bearish, and if it was bearish to bullish. In this case it was bullish and shifted bias to bearish. All right, so right now let me continue running price exactly right here. So price creating pullbacks to the downside right here. You can see the pullbacks to the downside, and then it's now reversing. Where is the pullback? This one here is not valid. Another one, this one here is a minor, or it's actually inside this order flow, so we need to pick the high of the order flow. So right here, so this one here is our inducement, our major inducement. So right now I'll be waiting for price to take out this before I consider marking the order blocks and the order flows. And if it sweep this, then this means that there's some possibility that price may make a break of structure without mitigating any order flow. So right here price swept that, and you can see reversed back all the way into the external liquidity like this, and this one here is the inducement. So, and exactly right here price broke the structure at the downside, making another inducement here, creating another inducement in our new trading range. And so this means that this one here is our high. So this is our high of the range, and our low of the range, you can just guess, it's actually here. So that's our low. And yeah, so we need first to wait for price to take out this before you consider marking the order blocks and the order flows. So right now, let me mark the highs so you can see our range all the way here down. So let me, all right, price here has swept the inducement, and now it's the right moment to mark the order flows. We said we start with the order flows. So if I pick this one is wrong. Why? That's not a valid pullback. Like, I mean, this one here is not a valid pullback. So coming up to the next, this one, is this valid? No, this is not a valid order flow. Why? This one also is not a valid pullback. So the order flow starts from here, because this one here is a valid pullback right here. This here is a valid pullback. All of this is just one leg. So once price has created this pullback, all of this was just a one leg all the way to the upside. That's the reason as to why I have picked all of this move as the order flow. And you can see price has mitigated this move right here, and this one here is our inducement. So price has taken out, in fact it has swept the inducement, meaning there is still some possibility that price may not mitigate this. In fact, the order flow is mitigated, so we are only left with one option, which is the order block. And right now we said if you want to mark the order block, usually consider the extreme of that order flow, and you mark the order block. I mean the candle that is associated with a fair value gap, and it is on the extreme. The color of the candle does not matter. All right, so right here, this is the candle that is on the extreme, and if I check, this candle is also associated with a fair value gap. Right here, you can see this candle is associated with a fair value gap right here. So it's associated with a fair value gap. So let's say price fails this sweep. That's when now that's when now we'll be looking forward to take the trade from there, and obviously target the external liquidity. All right, so let's see what price eventually plays out. All right, right here, price respects the sweep and extends all the way towards the external liquidity. So this means that we have just created a new trading range, and right now this one here is our high of the trading range. So all right, so let me run price so that we can identify the inducement, and exactly right here I can, all right, this one here is our high. These ones here are not valid pullbacks, so this means this one here is our recently formed valid pullback. This one is our recently formed value pullback. So let's see if price creates another one or price just takes out this one. All right, price is heading towards it, and exactly right there you can see price has taken out this one here without creating another one. So this one here is a confirmed swing point, meaning if price reverses and breaks past this one here is a confirmed valid break of structure. All right, so right now, where is the order flow? This one here, and you can see this order flow is mitigated exactly right here by this move, and we can't mark this one here. Why can't we mark this one? The reason as to why we can't mark this one is because this one here is before the inducement, and we said, well, the one that is before the inducement is an automatic smart money trap, or it's an automatic invalid. Like, we usually ignore that, like, without even marking it. In fact, you should not mark that because it's already invalid even before it was created. All right, so right here, this is the order flow, it's mitigated. So right now it's the moment to mark your order block. So you identify the order block, and starting from the extreme, where is the candlestick that is associated with a fair value gap, and I can see this one here is the one that is associated with a fair value gap. All the candles above, they were not associated with a fair value gap, and this one here is the one that is associated with a fair value gap on that trading range. So I mean on that order flow. So in this case, then this is the order block. I'll be waiting for price to fail this sweep and mitigate this order block and then make that ultimate reversal. So right, the sweep failed and then price mitigated the order block, and as you can see, price made it out to the external liquidity. Alright guys, let me not make the video long. I want to believe that if you have made it this far, you have been enjoying the video and you have been learning new things. So drop a like and see you in the next part.